All right, welcome to today's class on data manipulation language. As a data analyst, and even as a software tester, this is the most important language you're going to use of all the four major um, languages in data languages in SQL. This is the one you're going to use the most. So please pay attention and let's dive deep in. So, data manipulation language has to do with that language that helps us to manipulate data. And today we have employee database, which we will be using. Earlier, I taught us that when you want to use a database, when you want to focus on a database and use it, there are two ways. You can say use, you can type use the database. What's the name of the database? Employee employees database. So you can use the employee database, or the one I like doing, double click it. As soon as it is selected, then go ahead and use it. Okay, so let's go. The first of all of them is select. Select, as you can see, whenever you type a language, a syntax in SQL, it turns blue. So select, it turns blue. That shows you that that's a syntax in SQL. So the select syntax or clause, we call it clause, it allows you to read a fraction of the entire data set or entire table, or allows you to read the entire table. Now, we'll take it again. The select syntax allows you, or select clause allows you to read a fraction of the entire database, or allows you to read a fraction of all the data in the table. It can allow you to read everything in a table or part of the table. And whenever you're using select, you need to use it with the from clause. So because the from, it's where it's that particular clause that points you to where you want what you want to query. So for instance, look at it from this perspective. You want to send your child, please go to the room. All right, please go and get me my clothes. And your child says, where is your clothes? And you say, it is in the shelf, or it is in the wardrobe, or it is on the bed. So at this point, you call your child name, please go and select my clothes from the wardrobe. So you cannot tell your child, please go and get me my clothes without telling the child where this cloth is. Or please go and get me the book without saying where the book is. You need to say where it is. That is why select always, the minimum syntax it goes with is the from. At any point you want to say select, you need to use from, because you need to point it to the table you want it to go. And when you want to say select goes this way. You want to select, what are you selecting? You're selecting columns. You are selecting columns, and you can say select column names, column 1, column 2, and you say from where? Table 1. That's just the syntax. And now let's go. Which column do we want to select? You mention the column you want to select. Or the column. So for instance, let's expand the employee table. This is the employee table. The database name is employees, but inside it we have 5 tables. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, 6 tables. So we want to work with, majorly we'll be working with the employees. So at this point, let's pick up the employee. Let's expand it. Remember why I say, the way I say you should expand it, you click on this arrow and it will expand. When you click on it, it gives us columns, indexes, foreign keys, and triggers. At this point, we want the columns. So we click on the columns. This will give us all the columns in the table. And how many columns do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, if I want to know, let's say the columns are so many, which most times you're going to get in real-time situation, but you want to see them, you see all the columns at least, you can go. First of all, you don't want to start with columns. There are two ways you can do select. You can select the names of the columns, or you can select part of the columns, or you can select all the columns. So now let's start with selecting part of the columns. To select part of the columns, you need to use a wildcard. Wildcard. That's the spelling. A wildcard known as, our normal star. So that's the wildcard you need to use. This is this is a standard procedure in many programming languages. Star means everything. Asterisk you see here means everything in many programming languages. It's a standard procedure, and it's important you know this. And what does this mean? Select all the columns from which table? I want to select it from the employees table, because that's what we talked about now. And this is the employee table. Let me circle it. Not this one. This is the table.
Rate 1.
This is the table. Sorry. That's the table name, not this one. That's the database name. This is the table name, employee. So that's what we want to select from. And what are we doing? We know there are 6 tables here, but we want to select all the 6 tables. And here we are. At every point in time, please learn to close your code block. This is my code block. This is my query block. And when you're done, close it with a semicolon. And here we are. Like I told you earlier, because this is the only query here, I can easily run this execute that selects everything, or that executes everything, or I can run this. So it's safe for me to use any of them. But if there are many select statements, many code blocks, you can put your cursor on where you want it to be, the one you want it to be, and select and execute. So here I'm going to stick to this one because we're going to have a lot of code blocks in this interface. All right, so let's go. I will execute this. Now, how do I know that this has run? The most important way to know that your code has run successfully without error is that you will see this here. You'll see this here to tick this green tick to show that it has run, and it will tell you how many rows it was able to return. And this is the number of rows it was able to return. And why did this limit stop at this 100? Because we said the limit should be 100. Does that make sense? That's what we said here. The limit should be 100. If I don't want this thing to control the code I'm running, I can remove it. I can come to File, Files, and all right, don't think it's on Files. Let's check the other. Yes, so I can come to Edit, Preferences, Edit, Preferences, And let's wait for it to open. So it's open. Now that it's open, I will go to query editor, not on query editor. All right, so object, no. Execution, yeah. SQL execution. Now watch this. This is our limit. You can see it is set to 100. So I can set it to the number I want. Remember, I can overwrite it with code, but I can set the default to the number I want. Say I don't want 100, I can set it to 10,000 for now. But if I want more than that, I can go and execute more than that. But this is what we're going to do. Let's untick this so that we have the power to run our code the way we want. But remember, if your system does not have that power to manage, because what this means, it's not going to run only the limit is set to it. It's going to run everything in your code. So if it's returning 1 million rows, that's what it will return. So I'm going to untick this, and remember, unticking this means I am removing the limit. Say okay, and yeah, let us go. All right, so I'm going to run this again. Now you can see it's taking time. Can you see fetching? It's taking time. And after everything, it gave us 30,000. Oh, 300,024 rows. That's what it gave to us. That's because I have removed that limit. Does that make sense? Are we on the same page? So yours can be any number of row. You can go and change it on edit preferences if you want to. If you think your system can carry it, edit preferences, you go to SQL execution, untick this, or you give your number, the maximum you want your system to execute, and then you say okay. All right, so let's move on. And this is only for SQL. Remember, MySQL. All right. Another place you can also control it is here. So here you can choose up to 50,000 rows. But now mine is no longer controlled by it. Okay, you can also say don't limit. You can do it here. Don't limit. And it will not limit anything. So it's up to you what you want. You are in charge now. So let's move on. So select always goes with from, because you need to select something from the table, from a particular table. And here I have shown you how to select all the table, all the columns. Now, what if I want to select a certain column? So I want to select, let's say I want to select employee name, number, I will say now, what happened when I type, because I've typed the column, the table name, and the database is already selected. Anytime I type anything that looks like that's any letter that starts with any column name here, it will complete it for us. It will give us suggestion, and that's what we call IntelliSense. It will complete this, give us some suggestion to complete it. So let's go. I want to go with employee name. It's giving me a lot, and now I can see the employee number here. I will go in there, select it by using my arrow keys, go down to where it is, and use my tab key to select it. You can still use your mouse to click on it, choose whatever you want. Arrow key, go to where it is, which is faster, and use your tab key. Keyboards are usually faster than mouse if you know what to do. Now, if I want to run this, I can run it and I will have only, so when I run it, what happens is it will give me just this column. Just this column. Can you see? That's what it's giving me. Now, I don't want just this column. I want much more than that because just this column does not make any sense to me. So I want to get the first name and the last name. To be able to get more columns, you separate each column with a comma. And you cannot end it with a comma because whenever you put a comma, SQL is Workbench expects a new column name, a column. That's why it's giving you this red as an error. If you don't do anything, it's gonna throw error. So I'm going to start with first name. So I type the FI and it brings out this. And then comma again, I'll go with last name. And again, it brings out that. And yeah, I am good. So now it will make more sense for me. And here we go. So I have this employee number, their first name, and their last name. And guys, that's it. That's what you use select statement for. And as a matter of fact, you cannot do without select statement, select clause. That is your go-to place. For everything you're going to run in SQL, you will use select. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Are we clear with this, guys? Is this clear? This is quite simple.
Sorry, is the first line, is it not supposed to have a what's it called? That's semicolon. Sorry.
And also, semicolon is supposed to be at the end of your code.
Hello? Okay, at the end. Okay.
Yes. So it shows that my code has ended. Now, you can have your code to be like this on the same line. Now, semicolon is on the first line. But it still shows the same thing, end of the code. Remember how the other thing I also explained to you, to make your code look neater, you can highlight it and use the pretty and beautify reformat or reformat. And when you click it, it structures it for you. Choose what you want, however you want it. But this is a very good tool. Oh, okay. Any other question before we move on? All right. So I take it that we are good. Now, as you can see, we took time to, pick all the columns and then decide to lower it down to a certain number of columns that we want. And this is how it is at your workplace. You get to choose the columns you want that solves the specific problem, business problem, and that's how it works. Now, this not just selected the number of columns we want, but when you notice, it gave us all the rows. At some point in time, you may not necessarily, at some point, you will not necessarily need everybody in your everything, every row in your database. You will want it to satisfy a certain condition. So this is where we use where clause. I'll type it now, and then you see. See, it changes to blue, the where clause. So what does the where clause do? So the where clause allows us to filter the table based on specified condition. Allows us to filter the table based on specified condition. And it's so simple. You go to select, you want to select table, sorry, you want to select columns, or all the columns from a particular table or many tables. And then where, I'll make it capital letter, where you state the condition. That is the syntax. So you select the table, you select the column from a certain table that matches a certain condition. And let us see how it goes. Now, remember earlier when I was teaching you syntaxes, I taught us that when you're presenting strings like text, you put it in a quote. I always use for. When you're presenting numbers, you just present it that way, no quotes. Dates will also go in quotes. 2022, January 1st. Date will also go in quotes. So the only thing that will not go in quotes is the number. These are going to go in quotes, presenting string formats. Please take notes as I'm going to use some of them now. So let's go. Move this. Select employee name or employee number. Select the first name, select last name from employee table. Now, because I want to continue my query, I will remove the semicolon and continue. Yeah. SQL is not case sensitive. So I want to select name. So let's pick a particular name. Where first name, you can choose anything. So I want to choose where first name is, let's see, I want to use, well, I just will use Pato. Where first name is a column name, is a column because it needs, that's the condition. You need to fill it with a column name. Where first name is equal to, what's the condition? Pato. So I will close I'll close my query. Give me all these columns, but don't give me everybody in the company. But I want the employee name, the employee number, and their names, whose first name is equal to Pato. Because I mean, I heard that this guy is exceptional at work. So I want to get everybody whose name is that, but we couldn't place the face of the person who did that exceptional job. But we know that the person's name was Pato. Let's get the name. Let's get them and then trace who the department this person could be, or trace something that relates to them. But first of all, let's start with filtering who this person is. And here we are. We have been able to say, give us the name, the name and the number. And I've told you where where these things are. And this has to satisfy this condition. And then I will run the code. All right, so here we are. We have 228 people whose first name is Pato. Does that make sense? 228 people whose first name is Pato. I see everything is Pato. Just whatever you want. Let me scroll from here. See? Pato everywhere. Make sense? Are we good? Nobody's talking to me.
Yes, small.
All right, so notice that this does not mean, the normal arithmetic equal to is just like an operator. This time around, it is used to point at a test. It can also be used to point at a number to equal to a number. So that brings us to what you can, the mathematical operators that are used in SQL. And I'm going to type them out. So if I want to put a comment, I told us the other day, this comment means I want to use it to describe a thing. It does not affect your code. It is dormant, it doesn't affect your code. So I'll put one line comment, I'll use 2 dashes, and then I'll start typing. So the first, we have greater than, so we have equal to, we have greater than, we have less than, we have greater than or equal to, and you know what that means. We have less than or equal to. Then we have another one called not equal to. So you can use this as not equal to, or we can use this as not equal to for the way programmers use it. So this and this means the same. Not equal to, not equal to. This is less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, less than, and then greater than, then equal to. These are all acceptable in SQL. And let us do another kind of filter. So I'm going to copy this and bring it down. But this time around, I want to query. So remember we have higher date here. So I want to query higher date. Query higher date, let us know how the date is structured. Take note of what the step I'm following. That way I will know how to structure my dates. All right, so first of all, I will query this. Okay, so I will write a placeholder code. Select all from employee. So like this is just to help me query what I want to query. I get what this format I want to get. Okay, so it's taking time because I removed my limit. All right, so you can see the format: year, month, and day. That's the format we have here. So let's pick. Want to pick employees that are hired around around 2000 or much more than from 2000 and above. So let's go. I am going to say, because we are filtering on the higher dates. It's also important that we, include that date there, higher dates. Include the column there, and then that will then make sense so that you'll be able to see that what you're doing is correct. All right, higher date. Where higher date is greater than, now I'm going to put my date. I said 2000, greater, that is from 2000 and above. That means that's why I'm using greater than. So if I'm saying from 2000 and above, I would say 1999 dash 30 dash 12 dash 31st. I'm sure that makes sense. Give me everyone that is hired later than 2029, 19, December 31st, 1999. That's what this means. That's what is greater than mean. So I'm going to run this and we'll see. Here we go. Can you see? Though our latest date is 2000, but look at it. Anything earlier than 1999 has been removed. If I go here and say greater than or equal to, then it will include December 1999. So I will run it greater than or equal to. That means including the date given to you. I will run it And do we have, yeah, we got one here. Can you see? If we say less than 1999, that date, so I will just change it to less than, and then here we go. You will not see anything 2000 in it. See? There's no 2000 in it. And you can try anything. So what if we say anything but the year 2000? Anything but the year 2000, and let me say 0101. First January 2000. So that means I will say less than or equal to. So less than or equal to coming together, giving us not equal to. Let's run it. And it's running. Here we are. Anything about 2000 is not here. 2000, 1st of January, it's not here. Another not equal to sign is, another not equal to sign is this. All right, let me open it. Another not equal to sign is this. Not equal to. Remember I showed it to you here. So I will run it and it will work. And here we are. So that is it. Do we have any question?
Yes, I have a question, please. You can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. You gave us two methods of making a desired schema alive, like making it live. So my question is, if I decide to use the first method where we write a command, say use maybe database employees, like I write it at the beginning of this script now, how
Okay.
do I still maintain that same database if I have plenty, like many syntaxes
All right. So what
on
what really
this
happened
script?
is,
Or is it,
go ahead.
I'm just asking, or is it that first statement use a particular schema? Does it cover every other syntax I have on this script?
Exactly. Just use it only once. So what happens is that when you use it only once, then once you use it, it's going to pick that database and bolden it, highlight it.
Okay.
Like, yeah, and then allows you to start using it. So that in the order of preference,
So
whatever that you write,
subsequently, any syntax we have, we run.
what?
I mean, subsequently, any syntax we run based on that
Yes, selected database.
Okay.
All right, so let's go on. Any other questions, guys? So we are doing well. Excellent. We'll soon go for our first break. So let's move on and see. Now, sometimes you're given two conditions. So now, first, we want all the person. This person that we said did amazingly well was actually a male. So let us narrow down our filter. First of all, let's go here. When we run this, we notice we have a lot. In fact, as a matter of fact, we have a lot. So let us see their gender. Gender is part of this table. Remember that it's there. So I'm going to run it so I can see the gender. But you can see I have male and female, but we'll say this person that did this amazing job is male. So that means I need to filter down to male. I need to specify more conditions that will, that will show that, specify more conditions that will filter it and take away the female and say we want the person is male, so that we'll be able to, narrow down what we want to the available data. So to do that, we have the AND clause, AND operator, sorry. AND is an operator, the way you have equal to. So to do that, we'll put where clause, this is a condition. At the end of this condition, we specify another condition, says with an AND. This condition, and then another condition. And what is the condition? We say the gender has to be male. What does this give us? Whenever you see AND, this is a very strict operator, very strict. That means both conditions must be both conditions must be met before this code will run. Again, I will explain it. The AND operator says that the both conditions must both conditions must be true before this code will be true. The entire code will be true. So essentially, the AND operator allows you to logically combine two statements in a condition code block. Two statements. So what it means is this. I'm going to break this statement into two. So what it means is this. And so this is one statement for all the male. This is another statement for all the employee that first name starts with male, with Pato. But in this case, when you run this, it will give you all male without considering Pato. If you run here, it will give you only people whose first name start with Pato without considering male. So to be able to run it so that it will take note of male and take note of Pato, both conditions must be met for the condition for this code to run. That way, we use the AND operator. And to use the AND operator is to just say AND. So I would like to put it first. It doesn't matter how I put it, but I want to put it first as we had it earlier. First name equal to Pato and gender equal to this. So remember, you need to specify the column name and tell us what it is equal to. If you just say first name equal to Pato and male, it doesn't work that way. It wants to know the column name you are filtering on so that it will be able to filter it. So at this point, when I run it, I will have much more streamlined data. Now it's making more sense. Okay, so this time around, out of 228, I have 441. So, and that is how AND operator works. That's how it works. What about, okay, I want another condition where someone can be a male. Okay, so I'll copy this. I want to use, the next thing is OR operator. So the OR operator says only one condition needs to be met for the whole code to run, to be correct. So here, if I put OR instead of AND, so what really happened is it's going to give me all the code that has the first name Pato and still give me everybody who is male, irrespective of whether the, again, let me take it. The OR operator says any of these conditions can be true for me to give you return true. And the operator says all of these conditions need to be true for me to return true. That's what AND means. Or any can be true. And what happens here, this will return all the person who first name starts with Pato, whether they are male, irrespective of gender, they will return, it will return everyone whose first name starts with Pato. Whereas this other code will return everyone who is male, whether the name has Pato in it or not. So we have a condition that has to satisfy male. If you're male in this party, if your name is Pato, you're allowed to come in. Or if you're a male, you're allowed to come in. So which one do you satisfy? Oh, you come in, oh, I'm female, but I think my last name is, my first name is Pato. All right, come in. Oh, I am male, but I'm not Pato. Okay, your follower, get in, you're allowed to come in. So it just all needs to satisfy only one condition. So you know how it works. For instance, you're going for an interview or you're applying to open an account. They say you need to, okay, you need to be of age 18 and you need to have, you need to, okay, you need to be age 18. I don't think that works. All right, when you are opening this account, you need to supply give us utility bill. So any of this utility bill can work. First of all, you can give us your utility bill, your water bill, or you can even give us your electricity bill. Any of them can work. Or you're going for an interview, they want you to they want you to prove your house address. You say your bank address or your utility bill can work. And this, at this point in time, satisfy this condition. When you bring any of them, you will be approved. And that's what OR does. Please, you need to take note of the difference. So if I run it, see this 228, or sorry, see this 141, see what we run, that we have when we run AND, see what will come when we have OR. So it's taking time because it's loading a lot. Now we have 180,060. 180,060. So what does that mean? The OR operator opens up so much. It gives us so much more than we need. The AND operator limits a lot of things to what we need only. And this brings us to a rule of thumb. If you need to use the OR operator, it is recommended that you use the OR operator on a column. When you want to filter on the same column, the OR operator. So for instance, give me the name, person whose first name is Pato, or whose last name, or whose first name is Lillian. So it's recommended you filter on the same column when you're using OR operator. So it means I'm looking for either Pato or Lillian. That is a rule of thumb, because otherwise you're going to get too many things that you don't need. So it's recommended that we use all on the same column. And then you run it. So we have only Lillian and we have 228. Only Lillian and Pato. All right, so here is Lillian. How many Lillians do we have? I'm coming to you. So first name Lillian. Looks like there is no
Okay, there
Lillian.
is no first name Lillian.
There is no first name Lillian. All right, so let's us run. Let me run it this way and pick up another one. All right, so let me close it here first. Now I can pick up all. All right, so I'll pick another name, Aneke. First name Aneke. Okay, so now I'm going to remove this and run it. So it's going to satisfy both Aneke and Patu. These are the people we need. Can you see that? And that's 453. Yeah, and that satisfied that. Yes, Francisca, your question.
Thank you. What if you have more than two conditions to meet? Can you use and more than once?
Yes, you can use and more than once. But remember, for more than two conditions, for and, it means all the conditions must be met.
Yes.
So that means like, so we need this, we need that, and we want the higher date to be earlier than 2000. Please take note of how I am saying and I am putting in code my statements. Earlier than 2000. So that's the first day of the year 2000. So it means
You
it
have not
has to be,
put the last quotation.
thank you. So it means it has to be earlier than 2000. Person has to be male and name must be Pato. That is and. And we'll run it like this. And here we are. And if we put the column name, higher date, you'll be able to see everything in action. So you can see there is no one later than 2000. See?
Right. So
141. Yeah.
now in this case where you have so many pathos,
Yes.
that's when the primary key comes to play, right? Okay. And can you
So
use the
assuming
and the or together?
use and or together. Use and or together. Yes. And we will get to that point, but I don't want to confuse you now. Let us go on break.
All right.
Because my head is moving.
I
So
don't know
let's
why my
handle this question. So I'm going to copy this and handle this one. Select all people from the employees table whose first name is Elvis. And that's so simple. I'll just close this. And the name we're looking for is Elvis, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Elvis. And that's how simple it is. I'll run this. First name is Elvis. That's it. Done with that one. The second one is retrieve a list with all female employee whose first name is Kelly. Again, that means, what does it mean? Use of or and. Which of them? Retrieve a list. Retrieve a list of all female employees with the first name Kelly. Should we use
And
or and?
and.
Does everyone agree with her?
But yes, sorry. But Kingsley, when you say all,
Yes.
is it now supposed to include the higher dates and the
No, so this is only a
other
particular
information?
employee, only female employee. So what you just necessarily need is the name, done,
Their
and
name.
then gender to be sure that it's the gender. So gender is equal to female. And what's the name?
Yes, Kelly.
Kelly. Is this code correct? This code correct?
Or and.
Please,
What?
Is it
female,
correct?
Sorry. Which
female
first name
or
is Kelly? Or female?
no? I
Okay,
think it's and. There
It's
should
not
be
And.
and.
correct. It's
And.
and.
It's and.
Should
excellent.
be and.
And.
Means you're paying attention. And we go. And that's it. Everything female. 86 of them has the first name Kelly. Next one, quickly. Retrieve list with all employees whose first name is either Kelly or Aruna. So we don't need gender here. We don't even need the number, just the name. So let's see. Kelly or Aruna, isn't it?
Yeah.
First name, Kelly. The other name,
I don't know.
the same first name, Aruna. Is this code correct? Is it correct?
First, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, correct.
Yes. It's good.
All right, so we run it. And yes, it is correct.
Yeah.
First name, Kelly or Aruna. Then next one says retrieve a list with all female employees whose first name is either Kelly or Aruna.
Either.
So all female employee whose first name is either Kelly or Aruna. And that brings us to the next explanation in our coding journey. So when you have that situation where you have to use and or in a statement, you need to structure your work properly. So that's what we call precedence, operators precedence. So earlier, when you were in your primary and secondary school, I'm sure you learned order of operation. I'm sure you learned board mass, bead mass, whatever you call it. Bracket order,
Division.
multiplication, what's it called? Board
Board
mass,
mass.
division,
Board
multiplication,
mass.
addition, and subtraction. I'm sure you learned it. So you
Mm.
learn that bracket will always be handled first. So this question says, get us all employee, all female employee, whose first
Suspect
name is
and female
either Kelly or Aruna.
or
So that
Aruna.
means first name of
First
Kelly,
name first. Oh,
Kelly or Aruna. This is this. And of course, it says this person has to be a female employee. So we have to put
And
and gender,
mhm.
something is wrong.
uh,
Yeah, that's why it's not responding.
oh,
Gender, good.
equals to.
Female. Let's run this.
Okay. Oh,
So this has given us 307 rows. Let's see if it is correct. First name will be Kelly or Aruna, and where is it? Kelly or Aruna, and this has to be, and it has to be female. Is this code correct?
Mm-mm.
Because I'm seeing male.
Female. And we can see, let's see if we have first name that is not in line with Kelly or Aruna. Okay, so Kelly and Aruna are satisfied, but we're seeing male and we don't want male.
Maybe we should reverse
What is wrong with our code?
it or something.
Is it because of this gender?
I think
I
the
think we
first
should.
the first
You should
condition should
use
be
Okay,
female.
okay. I like the fact that we want
Yeah,
to talk.
yeah. The
Good.
gender should come
Male.
first.
come first, yeah.
Okay, the gender should come first.
First
Okay,
condition. For
let's try it.
Yeah, because
Gender, they said you should come
come
first.
first, not first.
Madam Gender, come first.
Gender, come first. We have to put our and. And let's remove this and here before we have issues. What we have is
Yeah.
307. All right. Gender,
Oh.
you're first now.
Still
Now
showing
we have
female. Male is still there.
279, 292. We'll
but
see
we still
how.
have male and female.
Male is still there.
Okay,
Male is still showing.
something is not okay. All right.
Maybe they are cross dressers.
Fola.
Fola must talk your own.
All right. So
Not
yeah, it's
50%.
possible they are cross dressers, but they're still identifying as male or female. Want
Maybe we
everyone
can
to be
use
female.
group or something.
What is wrong?
Group.
Let's think. Let's think it through.
We can group by now.
Yeah, maybe we should group or something.
Group. So that's not. It's not actually a case of group
I
by.
don't think so.
When we get to group by, you understand what group by
Where
is used for.
Female.
Sign.
Mhm.
Can you give your own idea?
Dicey because everything looks fine.
It's Valentine.
Should I release them?
So Valentine is no longer here. Valentine, you're here. Please respond. It's only one Valentine we have here. Nandi.
Yeah, I think I initially suggested
Okay. Yeah, you tried.
turning it around, but it's apparently it's not working. So we need
Yeah.
another up. that operator or
Okay,
something.
let's hear from you, Lola. Are you here? IBK? Olawale?
I'm here. Mine is not running.
No. What do you think we should do? What do you think we should do to this code for you to give us? Because everybody needs to be a female. We don't need a male because that's what it says. We need
Is there any
a list with
exclude?
all female employees only that has the name first, whose first name is either Kelly or Aruna. Read the question.
Is it because of this the column, the last name we included?
Yeah, but it say there's no last name. No, it doesn't matter.
There's no last name there.
I know there's no last
No,
name.
it means the color. It doesn't matter. We can remove it and you will still get you will still get the same thing. The column we included does not really matter here. This is where the issue is. You're filtering. The condition is stated. Read the question again and then read the question, then come to the condition. You can read the question, come to the condition. From the condition, you go back to the question. You'll be able to understand some things I had said earlier.
Or maybe
I think we
we
should
can use
select all.
We
Selecting
can
all does
use.
not make any difference because the problem is here.
Okay, I have an idea. Maybe we can use. I don't know if there's something. If there's a clause called in MySQL where
So we have
can
an operator
select.
called in, but we don't want to use in because in can work at some point, but not in the filter context.
I'm like having a select in another select. See, there's you can have a select and another select where
So
the output.
that is called subqueries, and subqueries is not at this level. That is an abuse of query if we use subquery for this. Go on. Remember I said read the question. Okay, read the question, go to the where clause. When you read the where clause again, you go back to the question, compare and see what is happening, and see what we have not done.
Can we say where first name Kelly is female and Aruna is female too?
But that's what we are trying to do, but we have not been able to put it into code.
Yeah, I mean the statement. The syntax.
So we can't have first name Aruna, then female. So first name again Aruna, female. No. It has to pick the column name and pick the condition. Pick the column name, satisfy you with the condition.
At this point, I give up.
No.
Is there any clause like exclude or something? Maybe we can.
It's too early to give up.
Please, I want to say something.
We don't have exclude, but we have not in and not in. But we have not gotten to that point. We are learning based on the context of.
Or can we say only? Only.
Oh, no, we don't have only.
Should we put the and the or clause in brackets? Let me even try it. So when you say,
so where do you want me to put the brackets?
So when you put, hold on now, you first of all put
it
select.
Where?
I think the and is the.
Oh yeah, so
can you guys
after the and,
yes,
after the and,
yeah.
Yes, put it in a bracket.
And where again?
Then after the Aruna, before the semicolon.
Not possible.
Okay, let's run it. And somebody is thinking.
Wow. It's one.
He goes that for you.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Do you know what? When I
Okay.
remember that board mass that he was talking about,
I thought
I
you
know they
guys will
used
not
to.
reason
Open
it.
bracket, close
They
bracket.
used to
Okay.
ah, ah, omo.
So what happens here is it's going to run this, which is in brackets first, and then compare, and then come back and satisfy with this.
This one. Okay.
Side life.
So be board mass.
Brackets comes first, remember. All right. Impressive. I am impressed. I like the way you guys put heads together. And finally, one person was able to get it. That is super. All right. So let's move on to something. Don't worry, I'm going to share this code with everyone so you practice it. So we have been able to handle that. Next time, whenever you have these complicated conditions, don't forget your order of operation. This is important. So let's move on. So now there's a standard procedure that says in the order of query, the operator AND is applied first, then followed by the operator OR.
Can you say that again, please?
In the order, assuming there is we don't have this comma, this brackets. So in the order of operation of execution of query, AND will be executed first before OR. Please take note so that whenever you're running it, I would even recommend you use the bracket thing before you use it. Focus on using it more. It's going to give you much more accurate and reliable results than doing without it. And you're going to see a lot of places where we're going to apply it.
First name.
Okay, so now somebody says, do we have in operator? Yes, we have in operator. So imagine that situation where we have, let me go and pick it, this one. So a situation where we have first name equals this or this, and then we have another or
That did not go right. You know there should be.
or first name equals, let's look for another name. Let me look for another name. Let me look for another. Where is our placeholder? Let me look for another name. I'm gonna pick like 2 more names or 3 more names. Of first name equals, we want Kyoichi, if that's correct. And or first name equals Sania. All right. So watch what happens as we run this code. So here I'm just going to select everything. I want to select all. I want to select everything in that table. So I will run this. So you can see that we have selected everything, everyone in this table. We have selected every one that has the first name Kelly, Aruna, Kiyoshi, or Sania. That's what we just did. And when you come here, you will say it. That's the first name column. You will say it. That's the first name column. Okay, so this
So
thing,
Kingsley, sorry,
yeah,
please. In this case, where you have more than this, you have like 3 O's. Then if you have an and, will you now put the whole of the O's in one bracket?
yeah, if that's what the problem statement specifies.
So for instance, that this one that we just finished, that we said select all female where
Mhm.
first name is Kelly and first name is this one. So if this is the case and all this Kelly, Aruna, Kyochi and
Yes, and then we want,
now
and we
to
say,
select where they are all
and
female or male.
gender,
Yes.
and gender, let me put, so something like, and gender equals, let's go again with female, isn't it? Something like this. Can we put it in brackets?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, it's just the same thing with that other condition. Yes.
So
It means
irrespective
for
of how many
everyone
or
here that has, do I have any error?
that your
Say,
brackets is
yeah.
left-handed.
Serious left-handed. Right. So I think I still have an error again. Why do I have error here?
And gender equal to.
Thank you.
Yeah, equals.
Thank you. You guys are really
Didn't speak.
seeing
Okay,
well.
correct.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I thought it doesn't corrected itself.
Okay. So yeah, this works. It's gonna work like the first one, but this time around we want Kelly, Aruna, Kiyoshi, and Sonia, not just these two names, and it's going to work perfectly. It's going to satisfy them. It's just the same thing. But we are saying, are using too many or. You see? So instead of using too many or, can we use another thing? Yes, we have a clause called in operator.
Wait, let me write this in operator, okay?
So you know how we repeated. Remember how when when we are building database, we talked about the size of a test of each of the data type. So imagine we have this, we're repeating this repeating first name. Instead of that, why don't we just repeat only, just have one first name and use the in operator, first name in, then we put the other thing in brackets. But that means we don't have this. We don't have the or, only the names separated with comma. No or again. No more first name inside again. Only the or separated with the name separated with comma. No more or. Can you see? Yeah. Select all from employee where first name in. So every employee that has this as first, any of this as first name will come up. Let me remove this for now, and then we'll come back to it. So that other code took 0.96 seconds to run. The one with multiple or. That's the second to the last one we ran. So let's see what's happened here. Let's run this one. Okay. How many seconds did it take to run? So this is the other key,
0.6.
and this is this. Can you see? 0.6 and 0.9. And you would think a 0.3 seconds is nothing. Imagine when you have petabytes of code. gigabytes, terabyte, and petabyte of code, these things will become very significant. And that is why you use industry standard. Whenever you have multiple conditions to meet that has all, put them in an in operator, and you will be all right. If we want to, bring back our and,
And yeah.
so we can still say our and here. And gender equal to female. So let's see how it ran it. The last one ran at 0.797. Let's see how this one will run. 0.73. So you can see this is a more efficient code than the other one. But the truth is, it ran and it gave the correct result. Do we have any question here? Do we have any question?
Can we use the in for where we have an and query?
No,
So
no.
when we have two
For where we have
and,
multiple and, no, you don't use in. And
is there an
is very
alternative?
strict. No, and is very strict. So what happened with and is that it keeps on reducing your code, your output. So you don't really necessarily have alternative for that. Not any that I'm aware of. But if there is, I will. If I know any, about any, I will let you know.
Kinsley, please, can
Yes,
you give
please.
us an example of where you have a multiple and?
Multiple and I've done that. I did that earlier. And look at it. It was the employee name, first name, last name, gender, and higher, like the employee details, where the first name is Pato, the person is a male and is hired before the year 2000. Can you see? You can put another and again. You can say and last name starts with something and see what it will return. All right. Are we doing well? Are we okay? Just thinking.
You're good.
All right. So how about opposite of what we have just done? Opposite. So the opposite of it is not in. Not in. So we have first name. I think that's it. Not in this. So that should be this. So we expect it to be opposite of this. So what are we going to get? So we're supposed to get names that do not satisfy this.
It's not.
So we're not supposed to get any person's name that is this. And we're supposed to get female and male, I believe. So let's try it. So, okay. Sorry, this male is so this and work, this not is for this. So this not in satisfied only this, like this, and then and.
Not
Does that make sense?
So sorry, let me be sure I understand. So that means this not in, when you use it, it means it should not bring anybody whose first name is any
Exactly.
of these.
Yes, and
Yes.
we want female.
More like an exclusion or something.
Exactly. More like an exclude these names.
Not in.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and we can also say we want them to be male. And I think we should be able to put this. And gender, so, and not gender equal to female. Is that a correct syntax? Yeah, that's a correct syntax. And then it's going to give us male. Not gender equal to female. So, but be careful how you use this. To make it easier for you, it's better instead of saying not here,
Not gender. You just say
just
gender equal to M.
just say this.
Is
This
it
will
not
be
easier to say gender equal to male since we know we have
okay.
only male and
Exactly.
female?
But sometimes it's not just so when you find yourself in a
Gender.
place
Okay.
where it's not just male and female, you have other gender being identified in your data, you have to acknowledge those people.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So here we go. And I'm enjoying the logic, the way you
Like the
guys
ones Fola identified.
okay. See? Yes, like the ones for identified, the cross dressers. But those people are not cross dressers are different from people who identify with different gender. They know their gender, but they just want to dress anyhow. All right. So we have been able to do in, not in, and it's so interesting, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
You want to do another activity? I just give you 5 minutes break. You do another activity, and then we'll continue. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All
For me.
right. So the question says, use the in operator to select all individuals from the employees table whose first name is either Dennis or Elvis. That's easy, isn't it? So I'll just pick up this. And here we go with this. Take away this one. Don't need this. And then we say Dennis or Elvis. So remember, you can do this with last name. You can do it with any name. Okay. And here we go. And that's how simple it is. Giving us 299,000. Only two names. Oh, all right. So either Davis. Oh, sorry. I used not in. No wonder I have that original. How can only two names? That makes more sense. 479. Okay. So we move on, guys. The next thing on our plate is an amazing and a very important part of SQL called the like operator. So what is the like operator? Sometimes we want to search or we want to write queries that matches a certain pattern. We want to create a certain pattern. So we want to write queries that matches that pattern. That's where like operator comes. And again, just like with in and yes, in and not in, our like operator also will be found works with where, the where clause. All right, so let's us dive in and see what we have here. So first, it is used to search for records that satisfy a given pattern. For instance, let's say we want any name that starts with there. So let's do it. Let's do it this way. So select all from employee where first name. So I'm going to remove this. We have first name. Then you go like. So something first name looks like. So in this case, we are not using equal to. First name looks like, or first name like. I'll put my code, so want to use the word then. So what this will happen is, it's going to go to this code and search for any name that starts with then, like Dennis. But to make this work, can see it's giving us an error. To make this work, we need to give it what we call a wild card. You remember at the beginning we talked about wild card, that the asterisk is a wild card. But this particular asterisk is used to say you want to select every column. That's like one thing, one symbol that does so many things, that does amazing things. That's what a wild card is. So we have another wild card here called the percentage sign. And what does this mean? All right, so I need to close it. Good. What does this percentage sign mean? So this white card says, get me all the name that starts with then. And any name that starts the first three letters, then, or that starts with then. It could be Dennis, Denmark, it could be anything, just starts with then. It doesn't matter the number of letters that come after it, just start with then. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I want to make a search pattern such as that matches the word, the three letters then. I can have it to be Joe. I can have it to be Joe, this two letter Joe. I can have it to be, let's use our, now, somebody that is our guy that left us in Nigeria. I can start it with Bob.
Bobrisky.
I didn't say anything. No. I can start it with Elv, like Elvis. I can even start it with only one letter. It depends on what you want. You want names that satisfy a certain pattern. And want to do it on the first name, you can do it on the last name, you can do it anywhere. So let's start it on the first name. Let's use Elv or EL. So what it means is it's going to go to this table, search the first name column, and see every name that starts with EL, irrespective of the letters number of letters that are after it. Just start with EL and it will return them to us. And let's search. Here we are. See, EL. And we have a lot of them, 1,770. See? Just give it anything you want. That's the pattern. I started with then, whatever you want. It searches and it returns a certain pattern. And you can also continue, that way and say, and use your or and first name like, let me use EL like we did the other time. See? So now I'm using or, and okay, so I have not included the white card. Remember the white card. So it's gonna give me more. Can you see? Then EL, then EL. Does that make sense? So the wildcard is, this is what the wildcard does. And it's super important in our journey. Remember, this is just telling us start with, yeah, go ahead, Lola.
Yeah. So is it just the special characters that are wild cards?
Yes, it's those special cards, select some selected ones that are wild cards. Are we good?
Yes. Okay.
So
All
if you have
right.
multiple ors, can we replace it with in and still have like on the same
Why
name?
don't we try it? But before we try it, let me explain another thing. So the wild card does not have to be here. It can actually start from beginning here.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask. Does it matter where it's
Actually
placed?
stay there, and let me remove this. So it can be there. Oh, okay. So yeah, this and here, it's what it's gonna do is give us all the name that matches the pattern there. But this time around, we want it to end with then. The word needs to end with then. And it can start with anything. That's what it means.
Hold on, please. So if you put the white card, white card in front of the
pattern
letter, it
Yes.
gives you the words that ends with that.
Yes,
If you put it after,
exactly.
it gives you what starts with.
Exactly.
Can it come in between two words?
Oh, yeah, we'll do it.
Then how do we know the wild card that is supposed to be used in each instance?
But there is no one. So that depends on what you're solving. So I want to search a name that has then in it. So now let's say, so there's no name that has then at the end. Even if I go to, I use small letter, there's no name like that. There's no name. Let's use something like ma. We're going to come to you, please. Ma. All right, so we have some name that ends with ma. Now somebody asks, can we have something like this? Can we have it in the middle? Let's see if we can have it in the middle. It's recognized, SQL recognizes that there is a white character here. So what it means that the word we need to end with ma, and it needs to start with, it needs to end with r, and it needs to start with with m. Anything can be in the middle. Does that make sense?
So it should start with an M and end with AR.
Yes, anything can stay in the middle. Let's see if we have any word like that. Oh, here we are. Mokta, can you see? Only Mokta. Only. Or you get the drill now. So now it can also be on both ends. Both ends. So it means I know a name that ends with, that has ma in it, M-A-R, but wherever you want, I don't know, it just has M-A-R in it. Just look for it for me. So, and let's go in and search for it. So now notice what happened. Although there is a white card here, it is saying it, but it's giving us Mary, M-A-R, being that there's a white card before the M, but it's giving us Mary. What does this mean? It means this white card represents 0 or nothing. Sorry, 0 or more. That's what it means. So there is M here. The word
Rewind,
that has
please.
M-A-R I want a pattern of a word that has a name that has MAR. It doesn't need to start it doesn't matter what starts here, or it could also be empty, but it must have MAR. So in other words, if I have MAR only as the word, it's going to return MAR. So for instance, we have Mary here. Mary starts with M, but nothing before it. But the most important thing is that it needs to have, that word needs to have MAR. Whether M starts it, it doesn't matter. Whether it is M is at the beginning, it doesn't matter. It just needs to have it. So what this wildcard represents is 0 or more character, or more letter, however you name it. Is it clear?
So
All
you're
right.
saying, we can have words like we can have words that has, let's say, you can have RAM if there's a word like that on our first name column. RAM. Will you pick it? No, I mean without your syntax.
No, it will not.
No, let's
MAR.
have finished. With this,
No, not RAM. I mean when you have MAR,
MAR.
will it return a first name that has RAM? Let's say someone's first name is Ram. Will you also return it? You know, you said no matter how it's placed.
no matter how the white card is placed,
Okay, white card.
that's the most important thing. But you see, anytime you see this in it, this has to be satisfied. Any letter you give to it has to be satisfied.
Okay.
So it's a white card that says, okay, since I am here, I can be given 0 or more letters. And if I am here, you need to give me 0 or more letters. So it means the wildcard percentage means I can be empty or I can be replaced by letters. That's what it means. All right, so you also asked a question, can we use the in operator, can we use the in operator? So let's try and use it. First name in, so I have that. In, so it's the syntax before, the in before like does not work. So let's see if it works here. Okay, so in this, do we have that? No, we don't have it. So you can see we're having error here.
Should the white card not be in front of the in? Then we'll now, in front of the like, then we'll now put the in. Like put the in after the white card. Why am I calling it white card? White card.
Put the in inside here.
No, not inside.
After the bracket.
So after that bracket, yes, you put in.
What is the in doing there? It's not doing any function there. So it's supposed to be, if it works, it's supposed to be here. But that doesn't work.
That means it won't work.
Yeah, so that doesn't work. So let's move on. Now we have like. We also have not like. Don't worry, we need to practice this more. When you practice it more, you will be okay. Not like. And when you have not like, of course, it will do the opposite of like. And it will give us anyone that does not have this. So let's see. So we don't have anything that has ma in it. Let's see. And is this clear? So if we're able to get the like, the not like is usually easy to get. Are we clear on this?
Yes, more.
All right, so what happens is we still have here, we're only halfway in this, but I'm going to stop here so that